Hey, how you doing? It's me, and my student Ash is here, and we're going to paint a sky, a stormy sky, and you're seeing the picture right there, God willing. Okay, so we're going to do some color mixing. I can see the picture on my monitor, but I thought it'd be nice. This is a pretty low res picture too, which doesn't matter, as I brought up time and time again. We don't need details. We've got. Yeah, you can see the picture. We can all see pictures. So we're going to start with, okay, this is sort of reversed, right? Because remember how I would say if there's like I'm doing a stormy sky, if there's some blue sky in there, I would do that first. But in this case, like, where is the actual sky? Right? It's hard to say. So I think we'll just work from, so when that isn't the case, like on all my sunsets, which we'll be doing a demo of too, maybe next week,
cool.
You know, with lots of colors, crazy colors. This is just going to have some subtle colors. And we're usually would start with the darkest. We got two I'm pointing down there. You people at home, I'm pointing to something you can't see, but it's the darkest cloud. Like, I always look at the corner, you know. These colors, we don't need to do two different colors. So we're going to start with a dark gray. The color you put down first is important. Like, if you put black down first, it might be too dark. But I'm going to do that anyway.
Can we use that color for the land as well?
Oh, I wouldn't even worry about that. Yeah, that's going to be... Yeah, you're right. Actually, you're right. That would be fine. Maybe a little blue or something, you know. Anyway, we need to make enough for both of us, so... I better put out some more black. We're gonna share black Spinel. I would use black Spinel, but it's freaking chock-a-block full of oil, so it won't work vertically. You should try the black Spinel one day, just so you can.
What's so special about that one?
It's like super. It's opaque, where this is transparent. But it's so fine, it's such a fine particulate that you can use it very transparently. Okay. Spinel is a gemstone, so black Spinel is a very expensive pigment. I had a love affair with it, but we don't talk much anymore, me and black Spinel.
Okay.
Because I'm back to my old faithful ivory black. But I have it there, and every now and again I'll put it out. I have a lot of blacks. I have the Mars black. Now the Mars black might be good. Really great if you're dealing with a bunch of transparency everywhere. I mean, you don't need that transparency coming in from the black. So the Mars black is opaque.
Okay.
Yeah. So like if you look at my sepia series, I used it was a revelation because I was struggling with the transparency of the raw umber all day and all night. And then mixed with the ivory black is also super transparent. So Mars Black made it super easy for me. Yeah, so that's why I'll get it. But usually I don't worry about Mars Black. I work with this because Ivory Black's reasonably priced. Okay, that's going to be that's not too bad. All right, so the problem with this, like, is that, yeah, that could do the job, but it's like very mono. I mean, it doesn't have complexity. If you know, you've been to my channel, you know, I like colors here have complexity. So the question is, do I want to go complex? I kind of want to spread away from the blues I'm going to get into. So this is where my head's at right now. Yeah. It's like, well, what am I going to do to add a little complexity to this? I might just add some crimson. How about that? Were you thinking that too?
I was thinking red, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's nice. Look at that. So, and then by complexity, like some people will teach, like, use as few colors as possible. One of the teachers I won't say his name since this is public or whatever. I don't want to denigrate anyone, and I'm not honestly denigrating him, but they would teach early on. I subscribed to this because this person had taught me that mix your colors with as few colors as possible. I'm not like that, you know, throw in whatever I need. On the other hand, what's underneath that's important is this idea that if you put in too many colors, you get just mud, you know. So you got to strike a balance there. I like that. Maybe it could be darker, but that's all right.
Feels like a blob slipping slightly.
Where is this slipping?
Yeah, that one.
I don't want to give you any stress.
I'm so staring at the radio things happening.
Yeah, so that was black with some of the mics gray, which is just a mixture between titanium white and ivory black. Next color will be, so we want to go up to the blues now. And that was why having crimson there is good, because it'll play off. If there was blue in there and then blue in this next color, everything gets kind of boring.
Are we going to use some of that subtle like purple in this one?
Sure. Yeah, that's always a good opportunity. It's one of the reasons I keep the deoazine on the palette, is so I can throw it into things like grays. Yeah, I very seldom use it on its own. All right, that'll be second color. Yeah, let's go ahead and then let's bring in some of your deoazine here. But where I'm going to bring in deoazine, like I don't want is fakey, and deoazine can look super fake, just to illustrate. It reminds me of, you had Crayola crayons out here when you were kids. It reminds me of Crayola, right? That's super fakey. Yeah, Barney. So that's mixing with the Mike's gray. That's nice. But what I was getting ready to say is, like, usually when I'm bringing in deoazine, I'm going to bring in raw umber as well.
Why?
Because it's more natural. So I'll bring in a little more deoazine. That deoazine there was basically just to illustrate how fake it looked. Because it's informed by the raw umber now, and it just has a better feel. Yeah. So 9 times out of 10, when I bring in deoazine into the mix, it'll be burn umber or raw umber. I'm staying away from the burn umber on this because I don't want those. I don't mind getting into some reds here, but I don't want those earthy clay type reds. We're not doing a sunset. That's nice. And that's informed by deoazine. You can see these differences are pretty subtle. So next we're going to do I'm not going to point there. We're going to do this, next time I do this, I should print one out. This color, right? The earthy
yellow,
warmer.
Yeah.
Because these are all kind of cool.
They look metallic-y, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, this actually, our reference looks quite metallic-y if you think about it. And probably in the reference in the bottom of the sky, I'm not going to go with blue. I'm going to bring in more browns to tie in with the top bit, which gets into the thing I'm always saying on my channel, which is like, and I know you know this, Ash, but people well, you have a lot of imagination, but a lot of people, they're just going to copy that photo, and I feel really proud. I did such a good job, but it is a terrible painting. Really. And they'll see it later, down the road, they go, oh, that painting is terrible. And I'm so proud because I worked so hard, and I did such a good job copying that photo, It took me days, and I got it done, and that's the thing. Okay, so we're into this warmth. So that's not going to quite do it. I'm going to need to bring in, I'm really going to hold off on, like, for this scene, like lots of yellows and things. I'm not doing that kind of sunset picture, but I have no choice but to bring in some yellow ochre to get where I want to be. So I'll hold off on things. Now that's greened things up a little. How am I going to counteract that? Red, and I'm going to use a cad red because I don't want that earthy quality from the burnt sienna. If it was a sunset, I might use burnt sienna. That's going to be very strong, too strong. Cad red's extremely strong. So that's counteracting the green. And I think if we bring in a little more white, we'll go ahead and use this buff white, which I probably shouldn't use because, oh man, I just messed that up. Oh no, we're alright. We're okay. It's okay. So when we mix these colors, we're just looking for kind of a middle of the spectrum. We're not looking to, I mix quite a lot of that, but that's alright.
That could be the shadow color of the yellow areas.
Well, we're going to use it around.
Yep.
It's going to be, we're going to do it in the water and stuff. And you can see on this reference image, the water looks extremely nasty, as you were pointing out. What the heck is it?
It looks like a cracked Mars surface.
We're just going to riff on that. We're going to do something interesting, which is, it won't matter. It's going to be like this much of the bottom of the painting. We'll just do some streaks and things, and there'll be a place to be a little bit expressive. So how many more colors do we need to mix? Like, I don't really know if I need to mix the light bluish color. I think what I'm going to do is instead, because I can tilt that or move that very easily as I'm painting. So you got to watch out for mixing too many colors here, because you'll just end up with big piles that you didn't use, because I'm sure it's already happened to you. because you're in there with the brush, oh, I'll just add a little bit of this to the thing I have here, and then you paint it. Then you realize, oh, I already pre-mixed that, and I didn't use it. So what we're gonna do is start with the Mike's Gray, which is kind of the base of almost all of these. We don't need that much though. I'm gonna avoid using the buff just for the peeps that don't have buff. The peeps in the hood. Also, very much always aware, like this is our board. It's gray, but really it's blue, isn't it? Right? If we wanted to do real gray, we'd have to neutralize it. Yeah, this is what you get when you mix. This is acrylic ivory black, or acrylic black gesso with acrylic white gesso, which is the same thing as titanium white and ivory black, and that gives you a cool gray that's very bluish. So it's good to, and there are sometimes, and I may even do a mono demo where I actually balance that out. If I was going to balance that out, I would have balanced this out with like some raw umber or something like that, just to get a neutral gray. But neutral gray, I mean, you could have big arguments about neutral gray. I mean, where is it? It's kind of a perceptual thing. So this is our light. I want, oh no, I said I wasn't going to use that. Okay, so if I'm not going to use that, like you just got a tube of that recently, but if before I got that, I just had that for the last few months, I would have just brought a little bit of yellow ochre and got the same sort of thing. And then if it felt like yellow ochre can kind of green things up a little, right? But that's sort of the effect I want. And you can see, whereas in our reference image, it's very 100% cool blue, I want more payoff. That's kind of what I'm talking about. So we're going to riff. This was converted by Photoshop to a color image. So it's very, I mean, you know, everyone's worried about AI taking over the world, but AI is really stupid. If you're hip to, AI can only do things to things that are programmed into it. And we're a lot more clever than that. So we're going to do our own thing. I don't want to mix too much of that. That's our light. Most of the times, let's go just for the peeps at home. We're going to mix that brightest, lightest color. Because that's one of the things that I notice when I watch my videos. I spend a lot more time mixing those lighter brights than I do almost anything else. Okay, so we're not going to use the buff. Let's get Dang. Let's get some more yellow ochre out here. So, like, yeah, having the buff is great because you don't. It's kind of nice right out of the tube, but I wouldn't use that unadulterated either. There's almost no color I would use unadulterated. I'm always gonna adulterate it. I'm always gonna change it. But if say I want to mix buff, I would use titanium white. If I want to mix this, let's go and mix it. Why not? I would start with this, which is that. This is that. That's been bleached. I just learned that recently. I would add a little of this. Look how small, right? And a little of this. I mean, this is that's too much. But well, raw umber is kind of wimpy, you know. So, but we'll put that there. It's best to add just a little and then a little. Let's see if we can mix. It's a little more overt, isn't it? Right? With that yellow ochre, it's like holding on. Like that has a yellow kind of feel.
It's kind of grainy. Yeah.
We're not that far off. Close enough. Right? That's how I get there. And then little bits in here and there. I mean, I'm not into matching things just to match them anyway. I'm into painting. I like that. We don't need a lot of that because we can always add more as we go. Anyway, there's my light for that real bright spot in the sky, which is going to be kind of a payoff. All right. So, any other colors you'd like to see mixed here?
Don't think so.
No, me either. It's done. Yeah, we can go darker, lighter with any of it.
Yeah.
So let's go and jump to our drawing. Yeah. I usually don't forget. It's, man, you know, this painting I really love. The drawing, I deleted it. I was so proud of the underpainting I did there. When it's gone, I just deleted it. Anyway, we won't do that then. This. So, like I was telling you off camera, let's. You enjoying your little worn down brush?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Good. So here's one for you to use today.
Cool.
And we'll put the palette between us here. You want your tea back there, or you want it over there?
Just there is good.
Okay. Like I was telling you off camera, though, we're going to use the black to do the drawing, but you only want to do black. I said, like, this one I'm breaking in. This is like that, but still what I would call floppy.
Wait, are these the same?
Yeah, with the zero and the
Oh,
zero.
wow, cool.
Yeah, yeah. When they get worn down, they get pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So for you at home, that's what I'm talking about. It's nice and worn. This one's floppy. And the floppy ones, you got to use them, how else you're going to wear them down, you know. But for drawing, I like something that's give me some, you know, accuracy. You know, I wouldn't, for this sort of scene, doesn't matter too much. So, you guys at home, let's go ahead and zoom in. And okay, good. So you can see your reference there. Here's some oil. So the oil that we're using is the Archival Oils brand Odorless Lean. It basically works a lot like a liquid. If you can't get this in your town, just use liquid. Liquid turns into something more liquid as you start brushing it. It comes like out of the jar as a jelly though. But this tends to be more reasonable in price, at least out here in New Zealand. And it acts like linseed oil would. And you can use linseed oil. You've made some paintings with linseed oil. It doesn't act quite as nice.
Do you ever cover this in a slight thing of linseed oil before you paint?
I always do. Let's do it now.
Okay,
Thanks
cool.
for the
I
reminder.
only just started doing it.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. Because thanks for that. 2 reasons for that. Thanks for that, Ash. It's awesome. Yeah, because we'd probably be okay on this one, not, but it's always good because it first of all will show us the true color of the board.
Thank you.
And I think that's valuable. Otherwise, you know, when it gets the, it usually be fine. There we go. We'll split that. That should be enough. Yeah, look at the color difference. Wow, that's like pretty dramatic. It's at least 10% darker. So for that reason, it's a great idea to do that, so that you can accurately judge your other colors. I need to pull this light over more. There we go. And then the other reason is that it gives you the ability to erase your drawing.
Yeah, got little coffee bits from the paper towel.
I don't worry too much about that. It'll be all right. Yeah. We don't want to waste this. He's frugal. He's frugal. So I use linseed oil for that job instead of the pricier quick drying oil. The thing is, though, I had me totally bit me on the butt the other day on drawing. So make sure you do actually wipe it off pretty thoroughly because it doesn't have that quick drying attribute.
Right.
So like if this was just going to be a drawing only, I was going to get in and want to start painting. And there you go. It just wasn't, it took it forever to dry, and I suspect it was the linseed oil. That was on just plain masonite, or which is known as hardboard on here. Alright, so there'll be some times I need to pick up this palette just for the piece. So what we're going to do is, getting back to what I was going to say to Ash, we use black to do our drawing here. That's just ivory black. There you go, Ash. So you want for this drawing bit, you want some movement, but you don't want it too soppy with oil. Invariably, I'll notice because I always dip my brush in the oil before I start, that it might be a little too soppy. You want to find a good, but we're going to be using the range of tones that is arrived at just through the transparency of the oil, as you already know. But
can I use your T-square for the water top?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go first. Okay, so, let's talk about that because you guys can see the reference there. So, yeah, it's just this tiny bit at the bottom, but we have enough sky. I'm going higher. You know what I mean? Because we're in charge. We're creating this world. Oh, now in my case, I've got to do this. In your case, you won't have a problem. I worked on that easel for many years. You want the actual measurement?
I just chucked it on.
Is it centimeters? It is 3 centimeters.
That's mine. Yeah, I've got 3.2.
Okay, good. Yeah, so we added almost a quarter more than is in the reference, but you can see we're still going to have a huge sky. Now, a lot of times too, I've done something, I'm going to evaluate, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, do I really like that? Because I'm going to do these mountains, is that sky going to be too minimal? I think so. Yeah, I'm going to drop it down.
That could be the top of the mountain.
Which is one of the great reasons to do the oil. I'm going to drop it down. I'm going to drop it down just a bit. But the reason I do these drawing stage is so that I can make calls like that without a bunch of paint. Yeah, I like that better.
Okay.
So,
I'll just slide.
yeah, I didn't even measure it, but yeah, I like that better. It's a small difference. Now it's only slightly more than the reference. And the other reason for that is that the, you want to always be closing, as I'm saying. So this should be in a museum with a really nice frame on it. And every frame is going to bite in a 1/4 inch, which is, half a centimeter, nearly two-thirds of a centimeter is that frame rabbit is going to cover up. So always keep that in mind. Like if we had this real skinny there, once the frame rabbit's there, it might seem excessively skinny. So it's good. Next thing we're going to do is just draw some mountains. And there's nothing that specific-y about this. But you can see why I like this. Kind of gives me almost like a pin sort of feeling. Also, you notice I'm going to raise these mountains a bit towards the edge here.
Yeah.
I don't like things like this.
Okay, so we're going to get rid of that.
You can put it in. It's your painting. But what I like a little better is like a little raised on each side. No, I think it's distracting. So I don't like it too much. Now, what I might do is I might say, what I do like about it, I do like it. I just don't like it where it is.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm not going to put it in. But you can put it in if you like it. Yeah, it's all good. So, mountains in first. Now, in the reference, you see there's a bunch of little da-da-da-da-da-da-das. We don't care too much about that right now. In fact, most of this is just kind of getting our proportions right. In my case, I'm going to take off my glasses. Now, if you have perfect vision there at home, you're not like me because I'm blind without my glasses. One thing I like to do. So one thing I'll do is bring in the side of my brush sometimes. I just like that there. So and lots of times too, when I think about things, if I see something, you might forget later. So if I see something, I like that. I'm going to put that in now. You can so you have a brush that's this wide if you use the side, and it's also good because the type of drawing we want to do is like, yes, we did throw down some lines. Obviously, they're lines, but the type of drawing we really want to do is mass drawing. Now, we didn't do the grid. Gosh, we didn't do the grid. That's what we forgot.
I was thinking about it, but I was like,
grid, where's the grid? Well, no, I want the grid. Even if I'm going to ignore the grid's helpful for finding our bearings. You can ignore it easily. So I'm going to do the grid here. You're welcome to do grid or no grid. But I'm going to do the grid because already I'm looking at this cloud here.
Yeah.
I have some issues with that.
Okay.
That's that white cloud there.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too, hey, look at me. And it's actually saying that. You didn't know clouds could talk, but they can. It's like, look at me, look at me. I'm a special fluffy cloud. Yeah, no, it's going to be represented in some way, but for me it's good to be able to find my bearings. And whether I choose to ignore it or not is another question. Yeah, good one. So.
Can I use the grid?
Yes, of course. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, what's the height? 5 by 10.
It's 2.5. So that's here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's good. Inches are Inches are cool. Try it.
You're annoying.
Well, that's exactly how I feel about the metric thing. Yeah. I'll wait for you to catch up here. Because, so in a lot of cases, like say this was the sky in a landscape painting where I had all these trees and things, you'll notice in a lot of my videos I might just do some rough indications with my paper towel sometimes, or I don't necessarily get all worried about capturing every cloud shape accurately. I don't care about that sort of thing, but I'm going to do a bit of that now just to kind of have something down for when we go with the color. And because this is basically a mostly gray painting, this work we're doing now will be pretty much incorporated into the final anyway, right?
Yeah.
So in a sense, it's an underpainting. Yeah. The grid's awesome because the grid, okay, especially in a place like this, like you guys will be seeing some cloud. You know, you might have a cloud here or something like that, but without the grid, you're trying to measure from way over there, right, or way up here, where the grid gives you way more points of reference. So it's just a time saver. All right. I'm just going to start. I'm going to give myself a little more paint here. I'm working very thin. I'll show you guys at home. See, just a lot of oil and a small amount of pigment. You may need to dip your brush into the oil to get similar, because if you're just working off of that should probably be enough for you. What I like to do, I got my glasses off, so I'm just seeing the big picture. And I just came across this sort of liney, sort of scrubby approach a couple years back. I mean, I was kind of using it sometimes, but I like this approach. I like this darker streak here.
So what are you gonna, because my immediate, I want to go into that centre dark bit, what are you going to do with that white cloud?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
We'll see when we get there. I know I don't like it quite the way it is. What I don't like about it is how round it is and how uniform the space, that's about where this is, right? How uniform that distance is there. But usually I'll just see where I'm at when I'm actually painting. Right now I just know I don't love it the way it is. So as I've said in video after video, I can use the same sky reference over and over and over because I take lots of liberties. So like down here though, it's good to remember that clouds get smaller, and this is where maybe change my approach to more lines, where then I break them up a little, you know, like this. Oh, I love painting on this smooth board. Okay. Same thing here. So you see, holding the brush like this and having this sort of approach, this is loosening me up. Like, whereas if I was trying to do this, you know, you don't have to make the sound. I'm drawing a cloud. You know, that's not the approach we want. We want freedom. We want to be free, and we want to be expressive.
Aquarium.
Is that right? I want to be free. It's the magic is in your mind. Yeah. I want to be free. Don't put no whatever's on me, man. There is a time to like where I might get like that with you know, where it's like I'm working out my trees. You know.
Yeah.
I'm working on my branches, but even there, I'm taking big liberties. Like I'll drop off a bough here or a bough there. You know, I'll simplify things. Now I don't like this, okay, so I'm trying to remember. In the reference there's like this big square shape here. Look how ugly that is. That's hideous. I hate it. So I don't want to paint that in. And it's good to know when you don't, it's good to be looking at your references saying how you feel about it. How, you know, what's up. So I'm starting with some big shapes like this, obviously that dark area there, which I made a bit higher than in the reference. I can lower that a bit. Let's bring that over too. It's good to know when you don't like something. So what I'm going to do is modify that. I mean, I like basically the brightness, and this is going to be our big payoff bright area here, right? That's another way, by the way, you can do clouds. See this kind of thing, and then finish in with the There's a lot of different ways. I'm going to just, I know I don't like that big squarey block feeling. It's not appropriate to the sky. This is the kind of thing if you're just painting the reference straight up. Speaking of, the reference image would be on the corresponding blog post for any of you that want to go after this. I'm going to go, I know one of the things is like, these are some of the darkest values in the sky here, so I'm kind of working up towards them. And so much of the differences in value is just pressure with the oil.
Yeah.
But the way I like to approach painting, the way I like to teach is that it should be pretty beautiful at each stage. So like I'm going to go home for lunch after this drawing, and if I get wrapped around a pole or something, you know, the estate will still be able to sell this painting because it'll be beautiful, right? The drawing itself would be beautiful. It's one of the things that drives me crazy about doing the icons. They go through this like really ugly stages. I like that. So with my glasses off, I'm judging. Now one of the things I'm looking for is like, I see a lot of commonality, like this shape is like that shape is like that shape. So at this point I kind of think, well, how can I tie things together, marry these shapes? You don't want to have a bunch of isolated dark shapes. Of course, this is just a sketch, so it doesn't matter too much. And down here we've got this, I don't really know what that going so low, because I like to see that stripe of blue there. I would just point out to you, Ash. I don't know where it'll be here, but there's like this light blue there. I like that, right? So I want that in. I was kind of crowding that, but I might just indicate to myself a spot where I'm going to have that. And over here above these mountains is kind of blah. Let's go ahead and bring in some value here. These distant mountain shapes, you want to treat them like they were part of the clouds. The only difference is they have a little more defined edges. And people will know they're mountains, you know, or even if they don't, it's fine. It's all fine. We might almost be. How you doing? Oh, you're doing good. Yeah. I'm thinking a little more dip there would be nice. You have like a lot of same in your width. Here. Yeah. Then that's what this is for. And you can dip that in the oil if it's not falling in line. I have a bunch here, by the way. So there's a shortage of swabs. Yeah, you want to have. So what I was pointing out to Ash, she had like in her painting a bit too much all the same, so that's why I've had a little bit of a dip. So you want to have things varied. And you know, of course, we can do things of value and stuff too. If that was the way it was needing to be, it's just all one sort of size, we could just switch up the value a bit. Okay, so at this point, I'm ready to get rid of the grid because right now the grid is bringing me down. I don't know about you. I can't really judge things too well with the grid. After a certain point, like it served its purpose. So this is also a place where having that board oiled is really nice because that grid will come right off. And the grid is a double-edged, it's a double-edged sword. In one hand, it helps you find your bearings. But on the other hand, it's kind of keeping you from feeling, the whole scene. Yeah, that's looking good. So I'm pretty intuitive, and I get promptings. Like one of the promptings I might get is like, "Hey, what about the paper towel?" Right? What about the paper towel? So if I'm going to use the paper towel, I'm going to get me a little more black, and I'm kind of make where I had just gone in with the brush with dipped in some oil here. I might make myself a little, there ain't no oil there in there. I might make myself a little like pool of paint to pull. I need to make enough for both of us too. Now, I don't want it real dark or real black. But I want enough of it. So I'll start with that. I'm gonna pop in some oil. You don't want it completely transparent or thin, but just something that's a little bit flexible. And then the real key to making this work, and painting with a paper towel is awesome. Because again, it keeps you to that, you know, I'm gonna draw everything. That's where clouds fall apart.
Yeah.
When you start going, ooh, how's that little nook go? How's that little thing go? How's that little thing go? That'll never get you clouds. Clouds are air and water, and they're always changing. And I think about the masters when they painted clouds. Like, there were some pretty cool clouds last night. So, you know, I don't see much of the sunset where I live, but I was thinking about, you know, I could pull up my phone and shoot a picture and have a good approximation of it. But in the old days, you were like, you'd have two options: sit there and really remember how it looked,
Yeah.
which, you know, humans are able to do, and not so much as modern humans, because we don't have to. You know, same thing before they had you know, words, right? People would memorize vast tracts of information and just pass it on to the next generation, word for word. So we have that ability. Or the other thing you would do is like that little tiny board I gave you today. You could go out there and go real quick and have some little color notes. And that's the kind of things the masters would do. Oh, I need to put this back. You're falling apart. Okay, come on. There. That's good. Anyway, because we have photos and they can really stiffen you up, because it's the most natural thing in the world to pull from the photo. Because it's such a trap, this is one of my ways to avoid that, would be, you know, we could actually start painting with this. This is probably enough of a drawing. Now, as far as what you're up to here, okay, so
It's like
these intervals are too similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, you might just, what I do is just, or what, we're going to get into the paper towel. Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Yeah, also, this is a little distracting.
Okay.
I would have one or the other dominate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of those masks is a little bigger. See what I mean? That's a little better. I'm not even sure you need all that, to be honest. And we'll see when you get in with the paint. That looks a little better to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and you can see where my dip was a bit more subtle, right?
Yeah.
Well, because I don't want to. People, you'd be surprised. People start, where is that? You know, because if it's too distinct, they're going to start asking questions. So this is where we're at now. That's what I've mixed. Normally, what I do is I got a certain amount of oil in there. You see, you need to have a decent amount when you're going to paint with the paper towel. And the first thing I do, take a paper towel. It's got a nice crumple. Do you have one? Something that's a little worn in. You don't want too stiff. Here, we'll trade.
Right.
So what you want is, like, if it's got too flat of an area like that, it won't give you a good result. So if it's too crumply, it won't give you a good result. You need to. It's why it's good to have a little broke in, like you already used it to clean your brush, or you've got some oil on it, or that's feeling pretty good. I don't sweat this stuff too extensively, but I know that you want something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've already got it there. So you go into the oil with that. That's how you start.
Is this ready to go?
Right into the oil.
Right.
Yeah, should look like that. And then into here. Otherwise, it's going to be too massively dark. Let's get rid of this grid reference too. It's a pain. I can't see. I want to zoom in. There we go. Okay. So what I'm looking for now is just like one of my things is I like to close off the edges. This is a bit light. Oh, I want to bring in some action in the water here. And since we're going to have to use a lot of imagination, this kind of gives us things like, in fact, I know how you operate, Ash. You'll start seeing things, right? And so the paper towel is great for that. Here, see how we have this kind of masses in the clouds here? A little bit of this kind of thing. Just kind of a nice way to sort of finish this off. We don't need to go real dark. It doesn't need to be real. I also like that effect, especially in my trees where you see the oil start eating into things, you know, and creating patterns that aren't like, they're not brush patterns. That's the other thing I like about this. So yeah, no, I like that. I know we're going to keep the integrity of your paintings. So instead of working on it, what I'm going to do is just talk you through. I might do a push here and pull out a line there. You know what I mean?
From the center.
Yeah, just pull out, like, see what I've done a bit of there? Just because it's a little flop, but it's a little, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very dark.
Yeah, or use your brush.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You may have done, oh, look what I've done in the water. Do a bit of that with your paper towel. So you don't need to, just because you got a paper towel in your hand, doesn't mean you got to do, you know, too much stuff. What I like about this, though, is it's like, it makes me feel free. It makes me feel free. I'm feeling it. Also, because you have to struggle more to make things happen, the paper towel gives you room for more happy accidents, in a sense. I like that. And so at this point, too, I look for what I call intervals. I don't know what other artists that, you know, use. That's sort of musical language. So intervals would be, you want to avoid like having real same divisions. You want things change. You want some same. I'm pretty happy with that. That's looking pretty good. What I think you could do is like with your brush, probably.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Good, good.
Hi.
Happy Matariki.
Happy Mother. You're welcome to come in if you like.
Day off.
Yeah. What's that?
You know the day off.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're artists, so every day's a day off.
Day off for you guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Looks great.
With your brush, probably better. Although it's a little brush, but maybe like this, right?
You can go for it if you want.
No, you do it. You do it. We're gonna keep it your painting. This kind of thing.
Okay.
A little bit of that, just to bring a little more structure. Yeah,
Right.
like I'm really happy with that. This feels like it's kind of, you can
Right.
see what I have. I have
Yeah.
like one kind of straight line. And don't hesitate to sort of copy what I've done.
Okay.
Or, you know, you get what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think you're
Did
real
you
close.
need my brush?
Yeah. I think I did. Yeah, I did. All right. So after the paper towel, what I like about the paper towel is that it's like loosen things up. It's got us out of brush mode, right? Which is super powerful. But it's fine after that to see some things and to get back into the brush a little bit. We're working very thin here. I'm gonna leave most of this open here because I just, you gotta be kind of careful down at this lower bit. Like in your reference, you might see tiny little cloud, tiny little cloud, tiny little cloud. One thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and reinforce my Matariki. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So, and also, like, once you have, like, more of the board covered with the paper towel, and a lot of it was, like, you're struggling, right? Because things are, like, you're trying to control the paper towel. But it's going to allow more air in. And you can find some, no doubt you're able to find some more shapes now, right? Since you've done the paper towel.
Yeah.
Well, as you're finding things, use your, I wish I had more light for you. You find a few more ways to define some things, you know. Or you see what I'm doing here. Like I've got that reference there. I know I don't want it square. I'm bringing some directional stuff, maybe. A little more information from the photo. Things like this can bring in some movement. I really don't like that feel of that real black thing like that. I want it to be color. So you see me do that sometimes too, where it's just like, once you've made a mark on that on that basically virgin board or whatever, you'll never unmark it unless you dip your swab into the well. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. What do you think?
I just made a clump there.
As long as you're happy, Ash, that's all that matters. You are. So yeah, I should send you some videos of old. Now here I am doing a little bit of that E. You don't have to make the sound. E, look, which is just the little rendering, right? I don't like that light bit that's there. It's distracting, but I like it kinda. So like I wouldn't want it as a little knob. I'm just thinking, well, maybe that'd be a good spot to do a little something like that, right? I'm just looking for, like a lot of it, so much of painting is like, I like this, I don't like that, I like this, I don't like that, so on and so forth, until the painting's done. Yeah, I'm going to bring in some stronger stuff here. I really like this dark bit here, you know, I like that mood that's in there and the quality of that. So, and when I have an insight like that, at this drawing stage, I might do something so that I'll remember it later, you know, because don't think that there's like when you're looking at your painting and there's a bit of something you really dug, or you say, oh, I really want to play that up, but maybe you're not painting that right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do what you can so that you'll remember later.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of this is maybe bringing in some straight lines to bring in some, or straight-ish, to bring in some, like, because I don't want everything all boom, 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 you know. Again, you don't need to do the sound effect, but, you know, to bring in some congruence, like, because we know that the bottoms of clouds will often be sort of straight. I like that. I think it's rich. I didn't really want to go that dark. But here we are, and I can knock it back. Like I just have the drawing there. I've taken the tone itself back a little bit, and so you basically kind of like music. You're looking for, I like these little dark clouds here that are kind of dancing. They're darker, but they're above, you know. So while I'm thinking, oh, I like those, I'm going to go and put those in now, so I remember later. Now the thing you want to do is like. Again, the intervals, like in the reference, this one cloud shape is like directly above another. I'm moving it over a little bit, just so it's like got a little more balance.
Can turn them into little UFOs.
You can paint the UFO right in that sky when we're done. Now that's looking good. You're getting it. You're getting it now. Yeah. Yeah, no doubt that you would probably sell the painting more. Like I told you about the manta ray. Throw a manta ray in there, a flying manta ray, or a seahorse maybe. Did you get the picture I sent you of a dodo?
I saw it. I saw
Okay,
it.
no,
I didn't
click
look
on this. Click on the site. That's your bird
All right.
because they're extinct,
Oh.
but they're flightless birds.
Sure.
They can only fly a few feet.
Yeah.
And they're from this one island. They're the most interesting looking bird you ever saw.
Okay.
I would love to see you do a painting
Yeah,
of a dodo.
okay.
Yeah. No, they're very interesting and iconographic. So I was thinking about that. You said, oh yeah, I just know how to paint. I know how to draw, you know, flamingo. I said, well, you should add dodo to your repertoire.
Okay.
Because dodos are totally cool.
Well, now just become a dodo.
Well, you'll see. And read about them. They're very cool, very interesting birds. They're extinct now because they only lived on this one island, and because they didn't know people or anything, they just walk up to people and people would shoot them. You know, and so they have a reputation for being dumb. That's the term dodo.
Yeah.
But they weren't dumb. They just didn't know that humans were, you know, gonna we're gonna kill them and eat them. Yeah.
Yeah, humans.
They're kind of similar to these big flightless birds we had out here in New Zealand.
Moa.
Yeah. The moa. Now we're getting a little more invested maybe than I usually might, but I'm happy with where these things are going.
Yeah, yours looks cool.
Well, yours looks looking pretty cool too, and don't hesitate to just take something from what I've done, you know, because you're gonna have to be moving along. Yeah, keep up. Keep up. 'Cause we're pretty much done. I mean, I've already probably drawn more than I would normally. But I don't regret it. Because a lot of times when I'm doing the drawing, I'm trying to remember things I really like and things I want to. When I'm in the color phase, like one thing I really like is in this area here. I like how this dark cloud's coming in, you know, but there's a little light underneath. I like that. And so at the end of the day, it's like there's some paper towel in there. There's some of the initial tentative stuff in there still. There's this more direct, I'm working things out stuff. There's always with clouds, look for ways to incorporate maybe some lines to tie things together, right? This kind of thing. Or streaks might be more accurate. Like those horizontal streaks will be the thing that gives your sky sort of the feeling of depth. As otherwise you just got big lumpy clouds, and lumpy clouds are not gonna do it. And as you've already pretty much learned, just trying to copy the clouds is incredibly difficult, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're very complex. They're complex if you're having that sort of approach or attitude about them. Whereas if you're just using it as inspiration, they're pretty doable. So I'm looking for. I'm not doing much here because I want to keep this kind of light with just a few marks. I will almost always keep that bottom part of the sky as uncluttered as possible. Maybe I'll bring in some streaks from the side, always from the side, on these streaks coming in on the bottom. Okay, we can dip our thing into the oil and do like. Yeah, so the great thing about this sort of approach is that, we've invested, what do we got, 20 minutes into this, something like that, right? But we already have something that kind of looks cool. It's pretty inspiring. Yours looks cool. Why don't you go ahead and darken that bottom a little bit. Give yourself some grounding and maybe a little more dark on the corners there, Ash. I think we're pretty much good to go for now. Yeah. Yeah, a little more strength there. Yeah, no, I'm happy with that. Did I move my camera okay? All right, good. Good, and now, hello, we're back from lunch. By the way, this is there's a lot of videos in the members area that are me working directly with a student. Not like millions of them. But they're there. And then, of course, you get access to the mellow speed, seeing the reference, things like that. So if you're digging this, also it's a good way to support the channel, as is buying my paintings. Go ahead. Go buy one. Not you. Oh. You don't have any money. But you would if you could, and maybe one day. Yeah. That's okay.
Maybe one day if I'm a rich famous artist, I'll buy one of your 800.
I tell you, this lady bought two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Double shipping.
She's so awesome, and she was really nice. I sent her an email that it was going to be 2 separate shipments. She says you're a great teacher, which is nice to hear because I try. I'd rather work at being a great painter. Okay, so all of you got the little reference image there. And in this area, there's a really kind of cool blue, right? Don't you like that? This?
Yes.
I think that's cool. I really like that. I find that attractive. So there will be certain hooks for you in the sky. And that's what I was saying earlier. There'll be things that you like. Like, what do I like? Do I like this? What do I like? I really like... this is way too blasted out in this portion. But I like the fact that there's a part of the sky that's much brighter. And it's diffused. So, like you were working in that one where you did a little sun or whatever. Usually I would have just broke that up as the sun's behind a cloud. It's all broke up. Yeah. Because generally, the exception to that is like the moon.
Yeah.
And that's, I never do it, but he does these like half obfuscated moons. It's so clever, you know. All right, so here we're going to share this palette. Let me get this out of the way. Now this is our dedicated black brush. I don't know what you're doing. I think you are doing something like that. I recommend just keeping these brushes in reserve because if you try and get into your real darks, we don't have any real blacks in this anyway. It's sort of moot for here, but and you've contaminated this brush with a bunch of whites, which almost every color in the sky is going to have some white in it. It's good to have a brush you can just go right back to and make a dark statement. Yeah. Stop chewing on yourself.
It's grumble.
That's my dog, by the way, not my student.
You're all ridden.
You never know. Why are the students chewing on themselves? They don't know what dogs are. Jerry, I mean it. Just stop it. So sorry. He has a charm, though. He has a charm. Okay, so the color we mixed is this color. And this color in that area, we'll see, like, it's going to change. That's the other thing I want to point out. And I talk about this all the time, but a lot of times I'll put down something that's dark, and then I'll put a color over it. If you do that, you get a completely different color than if you just mix that. So it's valuable. It's just a valuable thing. It's just another arrow in your quiver of techniques and approaches you can bring to. So we're going to dip in, go get some oil there.
See how I've done mine different to the reference? Can I just stick with what I'm doing?
Of course.
Okay.
You don't, yeah, no, that's your painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just coming along for the ride. Yeah,
Okay, just
so
darks
yeah,
and
do your
reds.
thing and just follow along as best as you can, yeah. So I'm going to hit that dark.
Yep.
Go ahead, grab some there. Yeah, that's dark. And that's not where I want to be. I'm going to bring in some blue. I almost always modify. I'm going to bring in some blue and some crimson. Because I'm very, very... So, just because I mix those colors doesn't mean I jump in and use them. Sorry.
I was like, oh.
Well, yeah, ready to go. No, you can if you want, but
No, I wanna make
remember
mine
I was
cool
talking
as well.
about how much I like that. So I do like that. I don't want to go quite that dark, but I like that. So
Yeah.
this color is going to do a lot of different darks in the painting for us. It's kind of an average of all of them. That needs to be flattened a little. It's getting too much chroma. So you want to watch out for that in landscape painting anyway, and as I stick in more chroma. But whatever. Sometimes it's a process. That's the other thing I want to say. Not just, I know you're pretty patient, but to the people at home there, you know, be patient. You know, if you got to work a little bit to get that color, who cares? You know, get it. And you see how I roll that brush, sometimes you can get that paint off as opposed to just wiping it off. That's enough for all of us now.
Cool. I'm gonna go some of that.
Yeah, please do. Oh, I like that. Look at that. That's nice. It's a little less dark than the reference, you'll notice, but in the reference that's working in a photo. In a painting, you gotta watch out for that. Now, I'm only gonna go so far with it. If you guys remember the cloud video we just did, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, Ash?
No hard edges.
No, it starts with an M.
Modulation.
Yes, we're going to modulate. That's right. So, because that color is brilliant there, and you could start sticking it everywhere, but the really good artists will always find ways and attempts to modulate. And I think what I'm going to modulate with here would be a little bit of this cad red, because a little bit, yeah. Just change it up. Even coming out here, see? That's giving us a bit of a purple feel. That's a payoff, though. We were looking for every opportunity we can.
Can I make my own? Like,
Yes, of
wild
course you can.
thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, it's not good.
Now you do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Yeah, like that. That's an opportunity to modulate. So that again too is bringing in colors that aren't in the reference, but we don't care. We really don't care. I like the idea of doing some purple too, so I'm going to grab a little bit of purple here, over here, off to the edge, and some blue, and some raw umber to flatten it. So when I bring in colors that's so injected with chroma, like the, and a little bit of just plain gray, like like that purple has got tons of chroma in it. Stop itching. And you want to grab some paint? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I was just going to
Anything you
experiment or
want.
something.
Yeah. Go ahead. No, that's good. That's good. That's the attitude I have too, is always experimenting.
How does that colour? That was fun.
Me too. Oh yeah, so I added some purple there. I'm going to go with a little bit of crimson too. So there's only so many colors I can do. Well, that's kind of get me back where I was. I'm going to bring in more of that. I'm kind of avoiding any, this has got a skin on it anyway. I'm avoiding using any of that because it's going to have an extra earthy quality that's sort of absent from the... Also notice, Ash, how a lot of times I'll put in my strokes like vertically like this, even though you might think that they should go in like that.
Okay.
I might bring them in vertically at first and then give them a couple of swipes horizontally. Bring in some of that. I want to bring in some gray. I'll show you peeps here. Now, you peeps at home, I didn't use this color. This is left over from the last painting. Look at that. It's a lot of good paint there. Because I gave you the basics behind how we're approaching the colors on this when we mixed all this. So I'll bring in some of this. This is just mud. That's all, basically. Just give me some variety. And black.
I'm vibing that. It's cool.
Yeah. So even this is a stormy sky. Look, see, that's a whole different color there, right? Nice. And in your brain you might think, oh yeah, clouds are gray, sky is blue, I can just paint all this in black and white, I'll be good. That wouldn't be good thinking. Another thing I can do, this is pretty advanced stuff, but I talked about this a bit on the blue sky video. See this orange here? If we take a bit of that orange and we go into the blue, that'll give us a really fresh, different color that's actually got some life in it. See? That's nice. But it isn't dirty and earthy, you know? It is a little dirty, but we want that. I want it a little bit dirty. Especially, say, in this area. That'll be good. Hey, if you don't stop it, what's going to happen is you're going to go in the van. Yeah, why don't you just lay down and have a nap? Give it a rest. Okay, now this is fun to do. I'll wipe off my brush. Go back to the original color that we did nothing but modify. And say, okay, I'll just use some of that the way it is. Right? Oh, that's nice. Look at that. It's beautiful. And it's different from every other dark gray I put in here. Oh, Ash, if I can get you for a sec here to look over here. Sometimes it's good to do things like a little swirl. You can get nuts with this sort of stuff. I don't know if you ever play with things like that. You know, just a little...
You should do it with my highlights.
Okay, good. Good. So we want to kind of lay down the darks first because the darks tend to be underneath. In some cases, like some of these floating clouds here are actually in front, even though they're dark, which is fine. But you kind of, a great strategy, especially some of you are just new to the channel and new to all this, and is you dark to light in general. I mean, it's not written in stone, but it's a good way to go. I'm going to go with the black. I'm actually modulating with black at this juncture because I won't get anything near black because of all the other colors in my brush. So I'm going to go up here. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different dark patches, and each one has a different color, but they're all related to each other. So that's how I rock. That's how I roll, and that's what I'm trying to teach. Yeah, and that kind of thing can be subtle, but a lot of times when you look at differences in paintings between someone who's a pro and someone who's just learning how to paint, or I like to use the term in the book, journeyman. Is that nice? It's a nice way of saying amateur, wouldn't you say?
Rookie.
Journeyman. You're a journeyman painter. You may have tons of talent and ability and stuff, which you don't necessarily have is like experience, right? But that's if you look at the great painters like the George Ness, people like that, they're modulating all over the place. In fact, Ash, if you look at that painting there, look how much modulating I did there. That's a copy after a Ness. So that's me doing him. Look at that strip of sky in the bottom where it goes from blue into mauve, you know? That's the modulating, you know? Yeah.
How thick are you putting your paint on?
Thick enough,
Okay.
but not too thick.
Okay.
Because I don't want to have a sludge thing going.
Yeah.
But you want it thick enough that if you find you're leaning too much on, in fact, speaking of that painting I pointed out to you there, he laid his, I was struggling because I was even thinking he had done, his was a watercolor.
Oh, it was so thin.
That's why you see in the bottom, look how
What's that?
thin I worked. That's a train.
Oh, cool.
I didn't know that until I read it in the book.
Is it
His would have been 40 inches. I mean, like massive,
Yeah,
like really long,
Yeah.
really big. But yeah, when I was reading in the book, it said that his paint had been laid in very thin, and so that's what I did on the bottom. And the clouds, I was struggling a bit because I was a bit thicker than he was. So if you're working very thin on white or light, you can do all kinds of things. Where because of me working on the color, I mean, basically, I don't like working overly thin anyway because I feel the paint will become more transparent over time. You know, like this. I like this one. This is nice. And then, so once I've established a pattern with the drawing, that's like the beginning of the pattern establishment.
Yeah.
And you do this naturally. In fact, you already said, "Oh, is it okay if I just do my own thing?"
Yeah.
Because you're doing that naturally. You say, "I've already got a pattern in mind."
Yeah.
That's the thing. Work with the pattern. Pull, like you looking for an idea, like, what do I want to do here? See if you can pull something out of the reference, right? That's again, how I think the pros operate. All right, I'm going to start moving into this next. Everything we did here was riffing off of that, right? We added blue, we added this, we added that. That's almost kind of in the middle. If you averaged them all out, you get something like that. But I'm getting ready to step into this, and I'm going to wipe off my brush. So you're not going to do this bit dark?
I'm gonna do it. It's not as dark as that, so it's kind of like.
Well, you got a plan. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's good. All right, that's all I'm checking on. You got switched on. You can see why the gray is perfect for this, right?
Yeah.
You know, because it's like,
If it comes through, it's all good.
if it comes through, it's all good. Also, everything's looking nice on top of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good way to go. Whereas if we tried to pull, I could have pulled this off on the Masonite brown, but then I got to be extra conscious of all those little bits of brown peeking out. And once the liquid hits it, they'll even be like more brown.
True.
I'm inclined to go and scrape this together. You know
You
that?
can take that, yep.
Okay, we'll just put it right there. Nice. And generally what I'll do is just add that into it.
Oh, yeah.
See, not far off, right? You average these out. So when I pre-mix, I'm always looking for that. Looking for kind of an average of all the colors together. Okay, next, oil. So wipe my brush off, get a little fresh oil, and we're gonna jump into this. Now this is a lot of blue in it. I think I'm gonna just work with this the way it is for now and maybe change it up as we go. There's some spots where I want more dark blue, like in that top there and some other places.
Yeah. So I keep getting distracted.
Is that by old Nee? She's distracting you. Oh look, it's almost like the color of the board. It's the same value, which is cool. Now a lot of times, check this out on the edges before you jump in there. I'll do a bit of a scrub sometimes. No. Hey! No! A bit of a... Shut up. I'll do a bit of a scrub sometimes. You know what I mean? Just, I don't know if you tried that, but you
Okay.
can do this kind of thing sometimes. Right? You
Yeah,
ever tried that?
to soften the edges.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
And I'm not telling you to do it necessarily where you're painting now. Yeah, just stop what you're doing. Also, I'm throwing in more phthalo here, and that's like too much chroma, so I'm going to kill that with some of this raw umber. And you can see how that gives you a more it's still, you know, someone would look at that blue and say, wow, that's pretty intense, but it's not fake looking now. It would have been fake looking if I just stuck with that tube blue. Oh, that's nice. And shh. Quiet, you. There's not a lot of spots I want, all that vividness. Maybe a little more here. Jerry, if you keep it up, you're going to get a timeout. I think he's tied up on your chair, actually. He's very tied up. Come here and lay down. No, over here. Thank you. Just cool it. Have a nap. All right. So one of the things with Stormy Skies you want to do is you got the blue, you got the gray, you got warm grays, you got cool grays, right?
Yep.
So you want to be playing your warm grays off your cool grays. Anytime, like you can see, that's one of the things I liked about colorizing this reference. Like Photoshop did a little bit of that for me.
Yeah.
We'll be doing bits of that everywhere. I did it here. See, that's a little warmer, that's a little cooler. There's also value changes too. So you got value changes, but you got temperature changes too. So you can constantly be playing those against each other. Don't get stupid. You know what I mean? Don't get dumb with it. Because if you do it in too of a micro way, then it'll work against you. But always look for opportunities to do that. Yeah. All right. I like that. I like this. Sometimes I'll see just one part of the reference that I think is cool. Like there's an area here that's not cool or dark, so I'm looking to kind of sidle in the middle there. That's why I brought in a little cad red.
Oh yeah.
I brought in brought in cad red. I'm using cad red where I might normally have used in another application the burnt sienna.
Mm-hmm.
The burnt sienna is very earthy.
Yeah.
You know, very clay colored.
Yeah.
That works great in sunsets and things. But so what I'm doing here is kind of doing trying to do a neutral that's not too neutral. That's raw umber. Yeah, I like that. So that'll be this area here. Now there is a little light ridge on the bottom, but I will probably paint that on its own. Sometimes you want to leave little patches. In fact, you often want to do that. But there are times when you just want to know that you're going to paint something like, I like that, it's pretty neutral. It's kind of like that. And a lot of times I'll find myself remixing the same color in slightly different ways. But, you know, like one thing about like, if you ever work with computers, you'll know that like, just the standard like 8-bit image has like, I think it's 62 million colors that are possible.
That's so cool.
And I'm often working in 16-bit, which is almost 1 billion different colors.
Yeah.
And so there are lots of subtle differences. And some of us humans can perceive them. And I believe you've got those, I don't know if it's rods or cones. I think it's cones. Cones is for color, rods is for black and white.
Oh,
But if you have more of those in your eye, you can see more colors.
True.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's a function like dogs are missing the ability to see certain colors. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shut up! I'm getting tired of it. You know what? You're being a bad neighbor. So why don't you lay down and stop it? Too big for your britches there. Okay, I'm going to start working into some of these warmer tones. Semi-warm tones, that's one of the reasons I broke into the pile of mud there. And that mud is just all the colors from an old painting mixed together. I mean, you could approximate that with some yellow ochre and some whatever and this and that. Mike's gray, yellow ochre, a little red, a little raw umber, or whatever you'd be in there. I'm going to start getting into some of this. A little more warms. You be careful with the warms though.
Why?
Just be careful, like I say, the reason that I'm not using burnt sienna.
Oh, not too earthy, yeah.
Not here, because this is a stormy sky, so we know it's okay to have some warm. There's my warm, and you can see how that looks really beautiful up against the cools, you know. So like good paintings have to pay off in so many ways. The composition, the colors, the modulating, you know.
Yeah.
And the layperson will just look at it and go, wow, I like that. That's cool.
Don't know why.
I remember when I first came to New Zealand, we were, my wife was delivering a baby, and these people lived out in the Wops. And I could barely understand this guy's country accent, his country New Zealand accent, you know. But I did a little painting, and I took it to show him. And he's like, oh, that's mean, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's sick.
Yeah, I don't like sick, especially after the era of the COVID-19, you know. I can't believe people are still using that one, but because it's no joke. But anyway, yeah, that's what, you know, before I was doing landscape painting, I was just doing my illustrations, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If someone looked at something I did and said, oh, that's cool, I felt like I succeeded.
Yeah.
No, that's great, it's cool. They're not going to know, oh, I love the way you modulated there. Or,
yeah.
I notice how every one of your darks has a slightly different color, you know, or I really love the way you played the warm off the cool tones. Actually, here I'm going to modulate from this into warm. Well, not like that, though. We'll try that again. There we go. That's great. So you can modulate from cool to warm. You can modulate in color. And usually when I'm modulating in value, I'm not calling it modulating, but you could technically call that modulating as well. Now we save some spaces for the lights, but in some cases we'll paint the lights over the top too. It's all good. It's good to kind of have a bunch. Also, notice how I do that scrubby thing, like I did there, like I was showing you. It's like this. I do that a lot to get those edges like I want. Like if you've done a bit more of that there, instead of like you're cutting across, that's giving you a problem you have to resolve.
Okay.
You see
Could
what
I
I mean?
do that with a dry brush?
You
Like
can, yeah, but a better opportunity would be to, while you're working in your color next to the other color, kind of scrub into the edge.
Okay, I can still go over it.
Well, you can use a dry brush now, it's already been painted, but your next opportunity, you maybe want to try that out. And for you folks at home, this is that scrubby move I'm talking about. It's like this, right? It's the softness of your handling too. You're pushing a little less hard. See, I'm pushing very, very lightly here, very lightly. I'm also, look how I'm modulating from this color into a gray. That's nice. That's nice. What are you even barking at anyway, Jerry? Yeah, should we go turn the heater off? I'm starting to get a bit.
Yep.
Thank you. Whoops. So that's where I'm struggling to get darker because I have all this other color in my brush. You could keep throwing black in all day and it won't get anywhere near. So what I've done is wiped off my brush, went back into the straight up ivory black. And I don't need that to be, no, it's still not working yet. Dang. There we go, more paint. And I don't want it plain cold ivory black. Stop that. I don't need you barking at people. There are people walking by. You don't own the place. What a mean dad I am. I'm a mean dad. Okay. Oh, this might be just nice hair. So I got blue, but I'm actually coming in with a little bit of this. I like that edge there. I'm just kind of, you know,
Do you
it's
think
actually a
mine's a
little micro-modulating is what that is, between cool into warm,
Oh, okay.
but both dark. But you can get real sophisticated. In fact, I mean, I don't plan. You know, somebody that would plan this sort of thing out, they would be, you know, really bright. But for me, I get promptings as I'm working, you know, in my mind. I go, try this, try that, you know, and that's just intuition. And covering the paint, and after a while, the painting's covered. One thing I do is like where it kind of went from dark to dark medium. I kind of hold back. I try and make sure, have I done everything I want to do with the dark, you know, before moving to the next? Have I done everything I want to do with the next medium? Have I done everything I want to do with the lightest medium, you know? And then finally, of course, the lights, and then the lightest lights. So here, if you look for a sec, I'm not planning on this going so dark, but remember a little while back I was saying you can paint in something that's dark, knowing that later you're going to come in over it with something else, you know, and get a nice effect where things are kind of integrated and the dark isn't just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I'm putting in some streaks here, even though I probably won't go anywhere near this dark.
Do you think I need to push mine darker?
No, I think you're doing all right. Yeah, what I'd focus on if I was you was like you got kind of snaky thing going on.
Yeah.
Skinny thing.
Yeah, I kind of did that a bit intentionally.
Okay, if that's what you want, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I get you into more of this.
Okay.
You know, like some of these shapes you could blend them into each other a little bit more. But yeah, like I said earlier, I want this to be your painting, so it will be your painting. Yeah. More like this. Look here. So, see how you have it's almost like this on the palette, right? I go like this to blend them.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So it's a little bit more unified because you got a patch there, patch there, patch there.
Mm-hmm.
Every little patch you have is going to grab people's eyes.
Okay.
And this is the kind of thing that gets people to stop going, is this a cloud?
Mm-hmm.
Or is this like fumes?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's going on? And then you've kind of failed because you've violated the one unviolatable rule, which is you don't want to put things in your painting that people are going, what's that?
Yeah.
What's that? It's not a good question because you won't be there to answer it. Well, maybe you will be. Maybe your first show, someone will say, what is that?
It's an alien baby.
It's an alien baby with its entrails coming up. Can't you tell? What are you, silly? I like that. I like that. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to go to my next color on the palette. So I'm going to wipe off my brush. Yeah, because I feel like I've done everything with the darks I want to do. There is more warms I want to put in, but they're a lighter type of warm. I want to come in now with quite a lot of just shush. This color, which we haven't got into much yet. So I wipe off my brush. I'm going to get a little bit of oil in there too. So I wipe off my brush, get a little bit of oil. The reason for grabbing the oil, that's not what I want. I want just a flat gray. So I'm going to flatten that out with some, I want neutral. A little bit of blue in it would be good. I like that. This ended up getting real purple. I was probably showing off when I was mixing this color. Because I want something, even some more of this earthy color. I wanted, so a lot of times color like blues. This is like this when the greens too. It's like when I'm mixing greens, I mean, why am I talking about mixing greens when we don't have any greens? Just because I'm like that. But I am, aren't I? I'm Mr. Tangent. Anyway, it's the principle's the same. So when I'm mixing greens, I throw in a lot of reds, and I'm always saying you could throw in infinite reds. I'm harping on that in that new chapter, right?
Yeah.
Red, 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 red. It still looks green though, right?
Yeah.
You've discovered it for yourself now. Same thing kind of goes for blue, right? You could throw all this stuff in the blues and it's still kind of holding on to its identity as a blue. You could throw some orange in there, you could throw some of this in there. Just to say, no, I'm blue, I'm still blue, I'm still blue. Until you go too far.
Yeah.
And
Oh
it's
shit,
not
you're
good.
orange.
Yeah. No, I'm orange. Actually, icky. Oh, I like that. That's good. So I'm into some lighter values, but I don't know if I want to go quite that light right now. So.
Wait, you're using this one now?
Yeah, I'm into that, but I didn't like it.
Oh.
So
right.
I modified it. So, well, I say I don't really want that purple cast right now. So what I did was I grabbed some of this gravy over here, right, just to kill it. Just I want it a little more neutral, but look how that actually does look almost blue, kind of neutral. That's what I'm after. I just need a little darker now. So, and that won't be hard to do. Well, it'll eat all my black right now if I keep it up. That's good. That's the right value, I think. So this is kind of going to be, it's almost like board color. It's kind of like fill in the blanks color
Okay.
at this point. Get things unified. In a case like this, I may or may not do. It still looks like it has a lot of purple in it. I get excited. I think when we were mixing, I was getting excited about DOAZ, and I put some in there. That happens. I get excited about colors. I get enthused. You know, I know you know. If you buy a new color, you want to use it, right?
Mix them all together.
Yeah, mix them all together. I like that. That's good. So what I have an eye towards right now is like kind of filling in some things. We're getting to the point where things are kind of getting a little filled. And Ash, you might want to notice how much of this little scrubby technique I'm using right now, which is very light touch. That's giving me these edges. And if I wanted to do some of your little snaky stuff, I would do it over the top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And people at home are wondering what I mean. Snaky stuff. What do you mean by snaky stuff? You're doing snaky, skinny clouds. Little
Tree root clouds.
tree root clouds, exactly. Oh, I like that.
I was trying to make a vibe.
Yeah, no, that's good. You go for it. You will succeed. But I want you to learn the scrubby thing. I want you to learn the scrubby thing for when you want those soft clouds that are doing. That's how you get this, right?
Yeah.
That's how you get that.
Yeah.
There's a bit of that. Very light feel with a bit of like, and it's enjoyable. I'm pushing this paint into that paint without smearing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of like more like a scrubbing. Okay, so maybe if I want to do any more with that, yes I do. Only what I'm going to do here, there's that, how I've neutralized that. I actually want to pull back in some of the blue off in the side here. And paint in some other spots. I love painting skies. I love it. It's people always come in here and say, "Oh, you must love trees." Oh.
No, they're all black.
I always say, yes, I do. I love them. I love trees. But if they're on, I say, nah, well, actually, my favorite thing to paint is skies because you don't have very many rules, right?
Mm. There
are rules, but I think one of the rules would be having your edges do this. If there's a rule, it's that. But the shapes you can change, the values.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah, that's looking cool.
Bit of a vibe.
Yeah. You keep going. Just keep up. Okay. Just keep up. Alright, let's see. More like that. Now also don't forget about your water. Because
Sure,
sometimes you got
reflections.
some of these colors, you can get them into the water. And I say that because I've been forgetting about the water. So let's go ahead and I'm going to grab a little bit of this one that was kind of an amalgam. amalgam of all of the dark grays. A little bit of crimson. I just want to get some water in there now. And so for water, a lot of times it's okay to do something like this, because we know water, it moves very horizontally or very vertically, right? And this being the ocean or a large body of water, we're going to be fine with that. And I'm not worried too much about, like, I didn't really change the color on either side there. It's not like a focal point. So that's one of those places where it's do as I say, not as I do. Great to be arbitrary, just like a parent, right? Just do as I say. And I feel bad, so I will modulate that a little. Put a little of that in there, just so it's a little different. I put some cad red and a little raw umber, which has like been my go-to on this particular scene. And you'll see different things will be like your go-tos for different paintings. You know, don't always, you know, just because you have a hammer doesn't mean you want to use a hammer to solve all your problems, right? You've got to change things up and go with what's working for the scene. So here, I'm kind of just wanting to get some dark bits underneath so I can play on top, you know. I don't want to be plunking these on top, because when you start plunking dark values on top, you can get in trouble. That's when you start losing congruence, like of people perceiving the scene as a scene, and then they're just dealing with your paint.
Yeah.
You know, which you know, I mean, that can actually be constitute a style actually, but it's not my style, so it's obviously not how I'm going to teach. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that. Oh. Might go ahead and get these mountain shaped type things into. I really love this color here.
Yeah.
You know, how dark and it's blue. And actually I really like that. It's the same color as there, right? It's very similar. Yeah, it's just a smoky, which is a color you'll hear me use a lot, a name you'll hear me use a lot. And to get things looking smoky, the key is usually raw umber.
Okay.
Raw umber will give you the smoky feel. In burn number 2. I like burn number. I don't give burn number as much credence as I do raw umber. Okay. Well, I got these darks. I'm kind of going in and just looking at my reference, looking at places. So I'm usually thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. So right now I'm thinking, well, I'm going to be going into these earthy, warmer colors, you know. Have I, since I've got this on my brush, is there any place, like I just worked in a little more there, I put in that little squiggle there, you know. Like this is a little flat. Sometimes I look at things where they're a little flat. Oh, maybe I could just modulate that a little right now.
Dark.
That's this. No, I'm down here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm down here. I'll go a little darker here, even though I probably will regret it. Now, a lot of times I will lighten those darkest areas in the clouds, just like I was talking about in the last video. But maybe not here, because here we're going for a stormy sky, so it's sort of the subject, right? And I don't mind. And there's no like competing like tree shapes or anything like that. But a good general rule is anything that's vertical in your landscape and dark is darker than anything in the sky. Always, always, always. Always. So just remember that. Because that's a real amateur move too, where people paint. You know, and because in a photo it might look one way, and it might even look fine in a photo. We will accept things in photos that we won't accept in a painting. That's just a sad fact of life, or a happy fact. I don't know. Is it sad or happy?
INFJ questions.
Sad or happy, I don't know. Let's go have a break. Think about it. Anyway, also taking time here. Like if I got some real boring errors, I used to be addicted to doing this kind of thing. By the way, Ash, check it out. I do these squiggles. Squiggle, squiggle. But every now and again, I will too. You know, my whole painting would be like that. Squiggle, squiggle, squiggle. There's a lot. That's what I love about painting. There's so many things you can do, right? This is also a great time to. We have that horizon line. We put it in, but it's a good time, I think, to put it in color. And I want that straight. I'm going to break it up here and there, but it's time. Was that even square? Dang. Why are you using it? Whoa, that's so, look how off I was. Why are you even using a T-square if you're not going to be square? There we go. That's nice. You want to, at least, you know, you want to have at some point, anything that's like this is a massive horizon line. If it's not square, this kind of thing people are going to ask questions about. Maybe they're going to be nice. They're not going to ask you to your face. Like, why is that crooked? Or if it's a lay person, they just know, well, I don't like that painting. Let's get whiffy. You know? So you have it straight. Even if you go in later, you can do some tricky things over.
Yeah.
But you want to have a foundation that's basically straight. Yeah. At any time, it's a big, long horizon. It's not always critical if it's just, say, a little bit of the painting. How are we doing back there? Are you recording okay? I'm just going to check on you. Because this stick fills up. I think we can zoom in a little bit more, too. Are you recording okay? Are you feeling okay? All right. Time to... So when the palette gets like this, I mean, you got still spots you could work in, but I think it's good to square it away. I'll pause this and square it away. We're back. Okay, so we cleaned up our palette. We forgot to put up more black, though. We're going to do that in your time. I would like to use the black Spinel, but I'm not going to because it's got so much oil in it. I'm just going to use this. This is the... By the way, do you have my tube of Griffin?
Yes.
Oh, I'll trade you.
That Griffith alkali.
Yeah, is there any left?
Some.
Go ahead, keep it. No, I got a tube at
I
home.
definitely was doing black backgrounds for a while.
Yeah, well that's the quick dry. That one
Yeah.
actually dries quick.
Yeah.
This is the Gamblin version that doesn't actually dry quick. It's
Okay.
supposed to be fast matte,
Yeah.
but it just dries the same speed as any old ivory black.
Okay. I guess it turns it matte quickly, but doesn't mean it.
No, there's no matte. That's just the name of their stupid quick dry line.
Ah,
Yeah, and I brought that because of that slow drying issue with the black.
yeah.
But yeah, that's all good. That's all good. Okay, so we're ready to look. We have that, right? And I think first thing we're gonna do is do a little darker version. So again, raw umber lens itself, that's got a little bit of a green to it. I'm going to cancel that out with a little bit of cad. And look how little cad. Cascade is way stronger than... you can see that color in the reference, right? Like that kind of...
Yeah.
But on its own, and people will argue with me that, like raw umber, I definitely see a lot of green in it. It's not super green. I like that. Let's get a little black though, one a little darker. And the raw umber alone will only let me get so dark. I kind of like that. Hopefully there's enough of that for you too. Okay. And then we already did some, yeah, no, that's nice. That's good. We might even go a little darker. So if I want to go much darker with the raw, I go off to the side. I won't go into the pile because it has no... what's the word? It just gives up really easy. It gives up its raw umber identity very easily. Oh, that's nice. Ooh, that's nice. Nice payoff. And it'll be even more. So we're getting different levels of payoff. Like right now we're getting a big payoff just because it feels cool to be playing the warms off the cools. You know, that's a big payoff. I'm going to actually burn number. I've been talking you down, but I'm going to use some of you. I'm going to talking you down. I'm going to talk trash about you. That'll be cool though. Some of these spots. I'm always talking burn number down, but I love it. I love it. I'm sorry, burn number. Take it back. Take back everything I said. Okay, like I'm in my mind debating this area. Like, do I want it that light, that high up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I went to start putting some and I was like, nope.
Now I kind of like what you did there. I'm going to go with some of this. So maybe I'll put something a little lighter in there too. But I don't tend to like, as I teach, you know, I don't like real light things real close to any of the edges because I feel they attract people's attention. And then they're out of the painting and on to the next thing, right? I want to keep them looking at my painting as long as possible. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. That's nice. I'm sure glad I didn't bring my bike this afternoon. Well, I had Jerry anyway, but like that. I'm going to join things. Also, look for opportunities to join things up so you don't run into that snaky problem.
Oh,
You join things up so you have bigger shapes, you know, but with modulation instead of, you know, just one big shape that's only one color.
right.
Wow, this is almost, that's a lot of color. See, that's why I was avoiding that burn number. Look at that, it's really starting to get,
Too earthy.
not earthy, it's starting to get a bit sunsetty, right? But if I stop myself there, I'll be all right. I'll be okay. Better off sticking with the raw umber if I wanted to have a real stormy feel. Although, who cares, right? Who cares? Who cares? Okay. Some of this, I'm going to paint in my mountains. Blue. Go a little lighter. I want that flatter. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's why I was saying if you got a job with Weta, if I was the art director, I'd never let you paint anything. I'd be like, Ash, we need, like I told you the other day, we need 20 dwarfs by 11 o'clock.
That'd be so much fun.
You would be the one for the job, man. You give me 20 different dwarves, each one cooler than the next.
Yeah.
I know you would, you know? There's a lot to be said. It's a real gift. You know, not a lot of people have that. I can be conceptual, but it's not like when the comics world. I was, I can draw well and I can do penciling, but I just find it exhausting. You know, where I have a sensitivity to line that an inker needs to have. Like, you know, just the line feels a certain way. You know, and it's tight. Yeah, no, I'm liking what you're doing. That's good. Yeah. So like for this Mr. Boring area you have here.
Oh, yeah.
So you plan your strategy, but a lot of times if I run into this, I won't do it on yours, but if I run into a problem like that, I might take my brush or something like this, I might go,
Okay.
and then just make it work.
Yeah, no, I can do that.
Yeah. If I have, sometimes I have problem there is I do something random, and then sometimes, you know, you see, generally when you watch me painting, it's like everything is pretty controlled, but every now and again I'll just fill up a whole spot with one color,
Yeah.
you know, and that's just to kind of, I don't know, that's just because it popped in my head, just fill it all with one color, you know. and then make it work, because we can always change things up a bit. So here we go. We've got some of this. I'm going to start pulling into some of these lighter tones. Go a little lighter. Like I said, we only have some of that. That's actually fairly light. We'll just use some of that straight up. I'm always holding off though. Like I try and get every value. I try and say everything I want to do with the darks. Everything I want to say with the medium, dark medium. Everything I want to say with the next medium. Everything right now I'm painting the darker medium tone.
Yep.
And then I might even fill the whole painting with that, and then I'll come into that darker medium tone with the lightest pop, you know. Get some payoff. Payoff skies. Did I use that term in the book yet?
The word
Probably
payoff, yes.
Payoff skies.
I don't know if it's been linked with skies yet.
No, it's payoff. Payoff skies. Payoff skies. You've got to have a payoff. It's all part of keeping the.
Did you tell your viewers that you've got a book coming soon?
They know.
Oh.
Some people know. Now I got help. I've got help. Thank God. I need it, don't I? Huh?
Help.
Yeah, my writing. Yeah.
Oh. That's alright, it's just how you talk.
It's just
I mean,
it's exactly how I
it's
talk,
just,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like, oh, Mike wrote this book.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but no, it could be clean. It's getting cleaned up. That's good. That's good, because it'll be better that way. That's just how I talk. And we know I love to talk. So it's all about respect. Like I was saying I have respect for everything I've done. But like I'll pull things in and get things together and say, is this jumping forward too much, or is this too present, or but while at the same time respecting it. And it's easier to respect things when you've taken your time and care with like the modulating and things like that, right? Because I said I wasn't going to do that.
Did you read that?
No, that's CAD red, but it's too much, so I gotta back off from that. I gotta back off.
Going into colors.
I don't want too much. I don't want too colorful. You know, I already went a little far. I'm right back where I was. Okay, I'll put in a little yellow ochre. Yellow ochre is a brilliant color for skies. It would be like it's really brilliant for as we're going to be moving down here that light bit.
Yep.
We'll be using a bit of yellow ochre, and we'll be deviating from the reference a bit because the reference is a little wimpy there. You can see all the colors I'm pulling out of this reference that aren't really there in the reference. The reference itself is kind of blah, but having this was way better than a black and white photo.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Adobe Photoshop. They have these. You have to really dig for them. They have these AI filters. They call them neural filters.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was insane. I don't know if you play with any of these phone apps like that either, but to do the pictorial stuff.
No.
There's some pretty cool ones. But this one is like make one landscape like another. So like you say you have a sunny landscape and you want to make it look snowy, right?
Yes.
And I tried to run it on these clouds, and I was using their images they provided, and it was putting little tiny mountains in the clouds, and I was like,
Yo.
that's stupid.
That's cool.
Well, that's not
words
helpful
all
at
the
all. You know, that's why I say AI is kind of stupid. You know, sorry, AI. Oh, this going to come to me in the future like Terminator or whatever. You said we were stupid. Remember that? I'm like, I didn't mean it. Sorry.
I repent.
I repent. I repent. Forgive me. You said we were stupid. We were trying.
AI has feelings now.
Yeah, AI has feelings now. Okay. Yeah, and so I like to have a meshwork of brushstrokes working together, but I don't like to have anything like where I was talking about these squiggles and things I used to do. They were all too look at me, you know. In fact, you can see a bit of it in that painting there. That's a fairly old painting. See how I did the clouds in the sky there? It's a bit too, you know. I probably have a different approach now, you know, a bit too, whatever. I mean, I can look at it and. You know, see better now. Okay, I'm gonna get back into doing some lighter stuff here. I keep going back to dark. I don't know why. I should show people what I'm up to. I'm just failing forward. That's what I'm doing. Have you heard that expression?
Yeah.
Yeah, failing forward. That's all I'm doing. It's because of my hesitancy to, like, I need to go lighter, you know, but I will just keep holding off until I go, well, no, I have to now, you know. What might be cool is like I'm doing warm here. Might be good to have cool here, you know. That's what I'm thinking, because that's how it is in the reference. And then warm again here, maybe. I don't know. So I've sold 2 pieces that were in the studio holder shell.
Cool.
They just weren't sold in the studio holder shell. It's going to be darker. Yeah, so much what I do is just about sensitivity, you know. It just, but it's kind of hard to teach that. Because it's sort of an eternal
But
function.
you're alluding attention to it, so that's helpful.
Yeah, that's right. Be sensitive. Be sensitive.
Do it.
I'll grab some of this. Finish off those mountains there.
Oh yeah, the mountains.
Yeah, I want to get those. I want to get those in before the lightest of the lights go in, and preferably before, like, have them pretty much there before we go. The sky goes all the way down.
Yep.
So that I'm just doing this sort of grabby technique to get a blend here.
Can we add a bit of that, what's it called,
What's that?
buoyancy in it into the mountains? Like,
You can do anything you want.
okay,
You can. Go ahead.
could turn them into eyes.
You can turn them into eyes. You're gonna do your thing. I got it. No, I got it. And that's one reason why, when a lot of times I was teaching people side by side, we do the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that wouldn't work with you in a hurry. I knew it wouldn't work. But that's to your credit more than to your detriment. But why is the aliasing over here? Oh, I must have moved it.
Yeah, I wondered that too, but I was like, there must be a reason.
No. I was just cleaning up. I sometimes I scrape things up just to keep them from drying a certain way. No, it's to your credit because you have a lot of imagination. You have a vision, and that's one of the reasons you're going to go very far as an artist, God willing. Especially if you get out of this hick town.
Honestly.
Now I probably won't be leaving this hick town, but my book will,
I
right?
feel like this was the land of the spirits. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we'll see. Either way, it's all good.
That's good.
Like creating beautiful paintings is really its own reward if you think about it. We can have a care and concern for them. But so many things are outside of, like, I've been recording my priest's sermons because they're really brilliant.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, go ahead, just get the skin off of there. But it's like, oh, no one seems to be watching. I was like, well, that is outside of your control, isn't it?
Yeah, keep doing what
So
you're
don't worry about it. I says I've been dealing with this my whole life online, and I just put out content, and people that want it, will find it. And you can be responsible for creating beautiful paintings, good content, which is sort of not a nice word actually. Should be a nicer word for content than content. I don't think there is, or I would have used it. Either way, you same thing. You create your work. Maybe you'll find an audience. The fact is, though, it's like it could be a double-edged sword. Like I was telling you, like having a lot of early success can be your total undoing.
My chart indicates that I'm going to have success from the 29 years old onwards.
Oh, yeah?
Like a bit of a late one, but
That's not too late. In fact,
that's
it seems,
just the beginning of the
seems
growth.
pretty young from where I'm sitting.
Yeah, but I see everything I'm doing up till then is like preparation.
That's good. And education.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, when you have success, you want to have it on your own terms. You want to make sure that what you're doing is something you want to keep doing. Like, remember the example I used of the guy that likes to paint landscapes, but does a painting of a sailboat. And he sells it immediately. So he does 3 more sailboats, and they sell immediately. Next thing you know, a few years later, he's on the cover of Painting Sailboats Monthly.
Yeah.
The head painter of sailboats in the world, and they say, so, don't you really love painting sailboats? And he said, well, I would really kind of prefer to paint trees. Why are you painting sailboats then? Oh, because I'm selling them, right?
Because I got the money.
I got the money. I got the cheddar. Okay, I'm going to make a little bit of a blue here. I want to go cool in this area. It's not much, actually what's up with the sky itself isn't much different from what I want to do. So I'm going to start with the Mike's Gray. Actually, we've got some right here. That's a little lighter than I want to be. That's the phthalo blue. That's really a lot. Went too light. Phthalo is so strong. I mean, one tube of phthalo lasts you a lifetime almost. Alright, there's just a light blue and it's just gone mad. It's gone mad. I'm going to bring in some raw umber to naturalize it a bit, get it out of that fake phthalo mode. So the phthalos always have to be modified. Oh, every color actually has to be modified. But I want that a little lighter because this is almost like sky. Really, it could be. Let's see how that looks. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Cool.
I'm scared. Yeah, no, I'm still gonna hold off on them. I'm gonna Go ahead.
I'm just trying to figure out what colour I need.
I like that. And I'm going to go, I'm already modulating right into a neutral. So that is just plain black. And here we're getting a good edge just by, so see here for 1 sec, Ash. So I'm getting a good edge here just with that sensitivity thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm slowing down a little, I'm kind of pushing and,
yeah, that's cool.
and wiggling a little, yeah. Pushing and wiggling, okay. I'm going to have some earth color here.
I get what you mean.
With the wiggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can wiggle. There's so many strategies. There's 11 million.
That's actually cool.
Yeah, that's the wiggly strategy. There's a lot. There's the pull in is the one I use the most though. Not so much on this painting though. On this painting I've been doing the scrubby.
Mm-hmm.
This is the scrubby.
Yeah.
And then you go in the other way, but you still can see some activity. It's not been smeared. Oh, like it hasn't been overblended because of the sensitivity involved in the scrubbing. I'm very sensitive. I'm very sensitive. That's why you know I'm an Aquarius. So we're very sensitive.
No, that's your Taurus. Oh, I mean more so.
I'm very sensitive. Oh, touchy. It's another way of saying touchy. Hey.
Oh,
No,
Aries maybe.
I'm not touchy. I am sensitive though. I like to think in a good way. Ooh, this is nice. Okay. You know Joe's a Taurus, right?
Yeah.
How'd you know?
You've told me.
Oh, did I don't know all his stuff though. His birthday was.
I need his birth time.
Oh, I don't know. He might know. Oh, but he'll rap with you on astrology. He'll
You reckon?
Oh yeah, he will.
That'd be cool.
Joe knows a little bit. Joe's a scholar. He knows a little bit about everything, really.
He'd probably be able to teach me about it.
Nah, I doubt that. But he would listen, and he has opinions. You know.
I don't like that.
You know, like what?
1, 2, 3. I don't know. It's like.
That's not too bad with your 1, 2, 3. So what's up here? I think is that's very dark. But what I would do is come in with a color that's just a little lighter. Start scrubbing from one end. Leave it dark.
Okay.
But that's what I say. Now you can go over dark things and then make them work. You know. Yeah. This is actually turning out to be super dark, and I'll have to do that same sort of thing to this at some point. But I can't tell until I start getting everything in, so I don't really worry about it.
Yeah. When are you gonna start working on the lower sky?
I'm working on it. You been waiting on me or what?
No, I was just I don't know what to do there. Like, is this the kind
I'm going to show you. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Actually, kind of started setting up a little bit of warmth here.
Okay.
Even now would be all right. So this is another sort of technique. It's a bit like the scrubby, but with these longer strokes. And then, of course, I don't know, this color might be fine. So I'm going to hold off. I always hold off. I'm thinking, all I know really is that what's in the reference itself, I want it a little different.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking of a little more warmth, like than this, like something like this. because the O is at the very bottom. It's always an opportunity to get depth. The sky always becomes lighter as it comes down. So here's another move, right? This is the little chomper move. Little chomps, little chomper move. And now I would probably want to I would probably modulate this as I move out to the sides. Yeah, like that. And as I look at that, it makes me feel like I gotta do some more brightness here. Oh, be careful, because people were saying, well, you said you were gonna paint the one in the reference. It doesn't look anything like that. You guys should see Ashes, okay? Mine looks like kind of like the reference. So up in the sky, I probably just gonna go a little bluer. Maybe grab some of that purple. And then some of this light color. A little bit of raw umber. Well, we'll see what kind of neighbor I'm going to get over here. I really hate that idea of Russell's. Yeah, I don't like it. That's why I had built the studio in my backyard. Huh?
There's already an exhibition booked in there for the 7th of July.
Well, exhibition's fine. Exhibition doesn't play their music too loud.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mind people coming around. I wonder if it'd be that autistic guy, the Zoomer kid.
I don't think he was. I don't know.
Oh, maybe it's like, dude, they've been telling you you're a legend, but I didn't see his art.
Apparently, it was really good, like detailed drawings.
Whatever, I doubt he's a legend. Maybe I just sound like a bitter old man. I doubt he's a legend, though. Okay, he's I know you can be artistic and do some good stuff. I'm not saying that, but you can't really have a precious attitude. I don't believe in it. And, trust me, if anyone was going to be a prima donna, it would be me. Yay, I'm a recovering prima donna. But you know what I mean? You can't be precious. Nobody cares, first of all. Nobody cares. And you're lucky if you sold something. And the people cared. They bought your thing. It's a good feeling. It's nice. But, nobody cares. Nobody cares about it. Even more so now, there's like more people around. I would keep thinking about that. Like this video you sent me. I mean, how many guys were painting around back then, right? Mm-hmm. Well, like painters are cheap now. We got all kinds of painters everywhere. Writers, painters, actors. Ooh, so that's what I've done on the bottom. What do you think of that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's too dark now though. Totally too dark,
True.
Right? Yeah. So I'm gonna fix that now when it's time, because basically I have there is actually some places where actual boards coming through, but for the most part, let's get into. Yeah, I just had to make my peace with that. I know I always paint in too dark in the sky, and I'm just gonna have to deal with it. So I'm gonna come up with a color something like that, maybe a little more neutral. There we go. Get some of this gravy here. That's nice. That's going to be two
I
different.
hate that word.
Gravy?
Yeah.
I won't use it again. Why?
I don't know. Sludge.
Sludge. It is sludge. Look at it. It's like scraped right out of the sewer. So the challenge there is keep some of the dark, but pull it in so it looks good. Okay, just to play it safe, I'm going to change my card again. Oh. I know, I turn on the camera just so I can waste your time watching me or listening to me scrape. But don't worry, we're gonna right back in there. And what we're gonna do is get back into some. You can see the little reference down there. Some more of these creamy tones. These warmer tones. That's gonna be awesome. Okay. It's nice. We're just resetting the palette here. Okay, so like some of these areas aren't painted. You can't tell now because that's like board color there, board color there, board color there. Those are areas where I'm planning on going a bit warmer. You can turn the heater back on if you want.
Oh,
Definitely the
Do you
temperatures.
want
If you do, if you don't, that's okay. Yeah, no, my toes are starting to get cold. I was kind of getting warm for a minute there. Okay, so warmer, lighter. That green's up a little, so we counteract that with some of that CAD. Not totally threw everything out of whack, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, you'll see.
I said I wouldn't use the buff, and so I won't. So we bring in the yellow. That's not bad. And maybe some raw umber. Yeah. Okay. We don't have. We did have a color like on there cleanly like that, but it just got gone. Not like that. Is that I want to go a touch darker. So if I pop the raw umber in the middle of that, that's going to be not good because it'll just disappear. So I'm going off to the side like that. Okay. And now she's like actually ahead of me. She's way ahead of me.
Keep up, keep up.
Huh?
Keep up, keep up.
I know. I said keep up, keep up. Well, I forgot how competitive you are,
Oh,
Ash.
stop. Aries versus Aries.
I'm not an Aries.
You're an
I'm-
Aries ascendant. You're more Aries than oh no, that's no, probably not true.
Am I really?
Yeah.
I have the energy. I mean, I have the Aries I like to think I probably have the good aspects of Aries without the bad ones. How
That's a
about
very
that?
Aryan thing to say. I am the best Aries.
I'm the best Aries.
Can I have the
Any?
palette?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
sorry.
sorry.
Yeah. No, in fact, here, if you need it, here, let me give you that in case you need your own little deal.
Oh, it's cool. It's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I just want to do some ground earth.
Yeah, I'm very proprietary with my palette, so I'm just not sharing good. Now, just let me show you one thing, Ash. Okay, this is the side of the brush move.
Yep.
It's kind of like the scrubby move.
Oh yeah, and then you can get the cool cloud
Yeah, you can
shape.
do this kind of thing too. Maybe pull some of these. That's one thing I think your painting would benefit from, a little bit of these kind of every now and again pulling a little straight.
Mhm.
You know, I just think it would benefit. Not telling
Okay.
you that you got to do it because it's looking pretty cool as is. But that's sort of a feature of clouds, is that they always have some sort of straight bits like that. I'm not too worried about modulating right now. I've been modulating myself to bits on this painting. So I've done modulated myself into colors that don't exist, which is it's fine. But at some point it comes about pulling things together and having congruence. But blending with some respect for what's happened, keeping the best bits, and being willing to abandon things that maybe sometimes you got. Here's a lesson. Sometimes you got like some really cool strokes, but they're too eye-catching.
Mhm.
Kiss them goodbye. Goodbye. Because it's not about any individual strokes. It's always about the overall. And that's where being myopic, nearsighted, is a boon sometimes, because you take, you want everything coming together like that. Okay. Yeah, I don't really like rush when I paint, but I move at a clip, at a certain pace where things are getting done. This is why I like that guy. He said, "Oh, you should do a study after that guy." It's like, "Oh, would it give me a headache?" I mean, beautiful, stunning work, but I have to dedicate my life to that. I just want to make something cool that, basically is expressing something. Ooh, let's do that. That'd be good. So right now I'm sort of looking for places that there's board color, and it would have been fine. It's fine to leave some of that board color on its own coming through. It's not a problem. I always slow down when it comes to these edges of the mountains or hills or whatever they are. Little islands. I like that. Now, we're going to take off the glasses here for a minute. In the reference, which you can see down there, you've got this big bright highlight there, which I haven't done. But I'm thinking I probably should, though. I've got enough little streaks of this and that it'd be good to have some highlight there. So, be kind of just like what I was saying a minute ago, be willing to sacrifice any part of your painting that doesn't serve the whole. In some cases, there might be some of these cool modulations that I've done, or cool streaks, or cool shapes that I worked hard to retain that just need to be completely obliterated, or whatever. It's all about the unified whole, You must sacrifice for the good of the community. Ooh, okay. Nice. Maybe some of this. See, I eventually get there. Here we are. Here we are, the lightest light. Drop it down. Whoa. That's what I was talking about earlier too, Ash, where I just went,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, deal with
And
it.
it makes
Deal with it, yeah, deal with it.
Okay. Who would have thought that I could have had fun painting class?
What, you didn't think you could have fun painting clouds?
No.
Oh, because they're giving you headaches,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. No, you know some of the secrets now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and really it's a feeling. It's a feeling of the approach.
You just got to lean further into the cloud as opposed to resisting it.
Exactly. Yeah, don't resist things. Yeah, you'd be funny. It's funny how much people do that. They're trying to do something as they're resisting it, and they wonder why their work sucks. You know. Well, and be patient with yourself. Just like I was saying, you know, I felt like I was mixing a color earlier and it was taking a long time, you know, but who cares, right?
Yeah.
Who cares how long it takes? It doesn't matter, because the idea behind doing something, a beautiful painting, is that it's going to be, you know, hopefully in somebody's home, and everyone looking at it will enjoy it and appreciate it. And then, you know, maybe even in a museum, or maybe even, I don't know where it's going to be. It doesn't really matter, but it's going to be beautiful, and nobody at that point is going to care how long it took, right? Yeah, they're not going to care. They're not going to care about your reference or how you deviated from it. All of the painting will be accepted on its own merits. I quite like my colors in this.
Yeah.
And you see that payoff,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now this shape might need to be lightened yet again, right?
Yeah.
It probably seemed like I lightened it a bit too much when I lightened it before, but when you start putting in brighter and brighter things, then you need to adjust and evaluate. But it has a real abstract feel, which I've been leaning into.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you saw the vertical in the show I did on the sepia
I can't
clearance.
remember.
It's in the show, but if you look at it next time you're in there, I left things at a very, very abstract level.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because I felt groovy, you know.
Groovy.
Groovy's a word.
Yep.
A word that, you know, people like
Groovy.
old people use.
Groovy's from
60s.
what's that set of movies called?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's kind
That's
of a
so
hippie.
groovy.
It's a hippie word. Hippies used to say that in the 60s. Groovy, man. I wasn't hippie. I'm a generation after. Hippies had all the fun. We got AIDS.
Hippies live in Byron Bay.
Byron Bay.
It's all
Hippie.
communes there.
Oh,
It's
really?
wide, Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Byron Bay. Well, the cool thing is, you being a Kiwi citizen, you can just pop on over, right?
Yeah, start working, start living.
Yep. Alright, so I'm pretty much, I think pretty happy with where my sky is at, except for this dark patch here. I'm going to bring in a little more life. Would you like another paper towel?
Yeah. Thank you. I have competitions with myself to see how much I can use the paper.
I agree with you, although I think you're doing way better than me. I think your strategy of putting on the table and that
then
is
I
better
walk it
than
and I
this
follow
strategy.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
better. But you know, I'm stuck doing what I need to do. I'm gonna do that. Best I can do is tear them in half.
Yeah, I do that as well. Stole that.
Hey, they're expensive. Okay, so let's find a color to lighten up. Maybe this is the way.
It's almost not raining.
I know. Maybe this is the way. That's warm, but we're going to put some blue in there. You can see that it's a color in the reference too. So So we deviate from the reference, but the reference is always there for us. You know, it's always there to give. Gives. It keeps giving. That's why people say, you paint from your I try, when I paint from my imagination, everything gets way... And I already have a problem with things, you know, being samey, you know?
Okay.
You know, one of my scenes looks quite a lot like another of my scenes, that kind of samey, which I don't care about. But you really want to get super samey, just, you know, paint strictly from the imagination, at least in my case. Oh, that's nice. I like that. That transition there. And this is an idea I got from that Ines painting. He looked at that on the bottom. I really love that one. Where he did that stripe of blue into the...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I've been getting a lot from my studies after Ines, actually.
True.
Oh, yeah. He's such a master. Yeah, so... I'm definitely at that stage where I'm happy with that sky. I'm going to leave it. It's got a certain amount of... it's pretty abstract. But the colors look cool. You can tell it's the sky. We'll come in and finish the water 1 minute. I'm going to use that. Jerry, you want to go for a little... Okay.
Thank you.
He didn't care about painting at all. What a waste of time. Okay. So we're getting close. I'm still... These are probably too dark. These dark floaty clouds, which I like. I think they're too dark. They're too dark.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're right. So I'm just going to share the palette with the peeps. There, the peeps in the hood.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep. So, because they like to see what's going on. You're doing it wrong. You should talk about the colors. All right, dude. Okay, I will. There we go. I'm going to soften that up. It's still dark, but it's not so dark. Stop it. Hey! Don't start in on that stuff. That's what people's experience. 328, okay. Stop it! Okay. We need to get the water done, and then we're pretty much done. We got about a half hour here, Ash. That's a lot of rain that came down. was invited to go to choir practice today, which I don't know.
Wasn't too tempting.
I need to practice. They're trying to change the way a lot of the songs are sung in the church, right? But
Why?
and my voice is loud, you know. So if I'm on a different page, stop doing that. But the problem is like I started getting back into this book and stuff. I wanted to get something on my own done, you know, for the channel, and then which is this, and then I got to do my Ines tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm like, nah, I can't do it. I wasn't really cognizant though that it was Matariki has been turned into a holiday. I don't know. I didn't get the memo.
Okay.
But I mean, it doesn't really matter to me anyway. Like I told those people, artists, you know, are making art. I'm working. I take Sunday off. I didn't used to. I used to work on Sunday too. I don't know if you come in here and work on Sunday.
I'm at the SPCA.
SPCA, yeah. I think it's good to have a day off.
Yeah.
Which is
I go out
Sunday.
surfing once a week. Yeah.
Huh?
I go out surfing once a week.
That's good. That's good. I don't even do I don't do nothing like that. Probably should. I remember when I first got that bike. I had to go see my my priest, Father Mike, because I was working on their website. So I was going to go to the house and I rode the bike there, and I was like super early, so I rode the whole around the marina thing, the loop.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I just don't do things like that, you know?
Yeah.
But I thought, well, this is nice. You know, it's nice. I think it's good. Not that I'm going to do it again. Oh, yeah. So, by the way, the Artisans thing starts in October.
Oh yeah, cool. Can we still do that?
Well, they haven't firmed up their dates yet.
Is it going to be on a Saturday
Yeah.
or a Sunday?
It'll be, I got the rough schedule, but it hasn't been firmed up. So it will be pretty much a weekly deal, especially in the build up to Christmas.
Wait, but is it going to be on a weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like a Saturday.
Do you know the exact dates? Because
No.
I'll have to tell my boss.
You'll have time.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't firmed things up. They put out a memo with some rough dates, and which I almost forwarded to you, but it's rough. So I mean, it could change.
Right, okay.
I'm not going to worry too much about it, but I plan on signing up, you know, either way. And if you can't make it 1 week or whatever, that'll be all right, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
And what I recommend, you know, is taking your easel out there.
Yeah, actually, that would be cool.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been involved. I don't think the work I do is it's not really fongaray, you know, but still, all you got to do is connect with one person that takes what you're about. And I need to, you know, if I can make a sale. It used to be I when you knew like there was going to be a certain amount of tourists here at the quarry, it was, you know, touch and go whether it would be better to just be here and be open or be someplace like that. But I think it's going to take, tourism is going to take a while to come back. So, another thing too is like if you do something like that on the regular or whatever, you start building up people get used to seeing you.
Yeah. I had a few people when I was painting at the time basing being like,
Yeah.
oh, back again.
So it really didn't matter how ugly that reference was.
Yeah,
did
I'm
it?
pretty happy
In the
with
water. Yeah,
I'm
that's looking
surprisingly
nice.
happy with it. Yeah. Do you reckon I should add some red in the hills?
Yeah, they're very
Like
green.
cadmium mixed
Yeah.
with burnt sienna. or
Yeah,
something.
why not? I
That'd be
mean,
cool.
why not? If it's popping in your head. One thing I would do is make sure that's straight there where you have this bump.
Oh, I
'cause
didn't
it looks
see
like
that.
looks like the water's coming up, right? Like
Sure.
something's rising out of the
If
water.
I connected the sky with the water, could it look like a river cutting through the mountains? Or is it too risky?
It's tricky, but you could. You could. You definitely could.
You reckon?
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to really add that much.
Yeah, because all that is me is being too lazy to. I'm just.
Oh,
I'm just
no,
gonna
what you
look.
can do, though, take that knife,
Okay.
just go
Yeah. Because the
Just
water
over that
is
light bit.
higher than the. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
You don't have to make the sound effect.
See, all the weird things I do in my painting is just a fix for the thing that I'm too lazy to fix.
Yeah.
You know?
No, trust me, I know. I mean, laziness for me may manifest in other ways. Like when you say, "Hey, do a study after so and so," I look at that and go, "No, that looks like work.
No.
I ain't gonna do that. That looks like too much work."
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna get more of that green and paint
Yeah, that would have helped a little bit, though.
Yeah.
No,
it.
that alone wouldn't fix the problem. But if you put that dark color on the end of one of your brushes,
Mhm.
like this brush, which we preserved,
Oh yeah.
and just kind of went, like this,
Yeah.
problem solved.
See, it's all it takes, and then I'm gonna go through a big one.
Well, it's good though, even to hit it with the knife first, so you're not fighting with the white paint being there.
Sure. Okay, fixed. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think it could be a little solider. Look, it's darker there, darker there.
I did it freehand.
The freehand's fine.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
a
I
little
missed
lighter
it,
in value. That doesn't matter at all.
Okay.
This probably shouldn't be so strong if that's not, but that doesn't really matter much either. Although it does feel like you have a pretty natural feeling going. This is like probably the least natural part
I
of your
really
whole painting.
struggled with this.
Well, that's not bothering me. I'm talking about this dark line
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Okay, I can fix that.
Yeah, no, I'm not bothered with your heels at all.
They sent an email to the quarry people sent an email about Bunker 2 pop-up exhibition.
Huh.
So you've got that.
Bunker
So-
2, pop up.
Bunker 2 space available for short-term rent from Tuesday 12th to Sunday 24th of July.
From when to when?
Tuesday the 12th to Sunday the 24th.
Oh, of July.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jared sent me lots of emails.
That's what he does. That's
Can you
his
do this?
job.
Can you do this? Can you do this? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to be doing face painting on the night light exhibition thing.
that's good. I plan on being open, I think, that
Yeah,
time.
it'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think I'll be here.
I wonder if they'll give me money to go buy the paint for the faces so I don't have to do it myself.
What do you mean?
Like, can I say, can you guys pay for the face painting materials that will be required?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah. So I just
Yeah.
asked them for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's not going to come out of your pocket. Would it? I wouldn't
I
think
mean,
so.
I was assuming so.
Oh, no, I wouldn't assume. I would assume the exact opposite. Yeah. What are they saying? They're saying X amount an hour, or are they saying X amount for the job?
Oh, that's for the different thing. That's for the school holiday program.
Okay.
But I just saw an email about the face painting.
Yeah, well, we need, they may even have the paints already.
Sure.
Alright, so when I get to a juncture like this, where I'm looking for other things to do, I'm done.
Yay.
I'm done. What do you think?
That's cool. I like the highlight in the center and the like this thing, that line.
Yeah, a little bit of intuitive stuff.
Ours is so different. Cool. I
Yeah.
couldn't stay away from the colour.
Huh?
I couldn't stay away from the colour.
That's alright. That's all good. I'm zooming in on a bit. It's a little different than where I normally zoom in, but I'm going to not move this camera. Yeah, oh, actually I do need to move the camera because I want a big... I want the big one for the. Yeah, I really like this painting. All right, take good care. Stay out of trouble.